Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a good weekend. I know a lot going on. Yesterday was an incredibly crazy day when it comes to history, when it comes to theatrics, when it comes to actually what happened. And today in the morning, I woke up and I started writing my Substack letter. And I started putting it excuse me, all together. And I said, let me give my readers an exclusive inside look behind the scenes of what really was going on in yesterday's meeting. Because I know when I woke up and I put on the news, it was like, regurgitation people. It's so funny. It's like either they lost sources or I don't know, but the reporting has been just so crazy. They're talking about Trump has shifted now from ceasefire to a peace negotiation. He's bringing Putin in, but at the same time, I mean, but Zelensky at the same time. They don't see any win for Donald Trump in this. Nobody understand what's going on. Nobody understand what's happening. So I figured, let me sit down and let me write a letter. Let me try to explain it to my viewers and my subscribers, and inside look of what really transpired yesterday. Because for all of you that have been following me, for all of you that have been subscribing and listening to what I've been saying, none of you were surprised yesterday. None of you were surprised of what transpired because you were all prepared. You all knew exactly that this was never about peace. It was never about trying to figure out how to protect Ukraine. It was always about some backdoor channels, backdoor meetings that were taking place and that played out on the world scene that needed to get solidified by two people. But before we get started, before we get going, I wanted to talk about first of all, let me see. Alexander, I asked him if he could join us also, guys. So I'm going to send it. Hopefully, if he's out there, he could join us and give us also an understanding of where Ukraine and what's happening there, what he hears on the ground from there. But before we start breaking it down, before I get into exactly, because today we're going to do it a little different. Today, I think there was, hold on a second, guys. Yeah. Today, because there was so much that transpired yesterday, and there's just so much to uncover. So I decided that we're going to do it in a story time with Lev fashion. I'm going to break it all down. We're going to go step by step of what transpired. A lot of you might have not got a chance to see the actual theatrics fiasco. Some of you might have got to see bits and pieces and do not have the full, story because it only happened yesterday. So it's Saturday. Go grab some coffee, some tea, whatever it is. Make sure take that little box to the right, send it out and mesh it to all your friends, to all of everybody you know, anybody you think that should be listening to the truth right now, that should be a part of our team and a part of our movement to save democracy. So this way they could join, and we're going to break it all down, the whole meeting, everything behind it, what my sources are telling me, what's about to take place in the next couple of days, and what to be prepared for. But like I said, before we get going, I want to talk about a few things. First of all, the one thing that I started off a week ago, and I said when they first announced this meeting that they were going to have, I said this is all a distraction because if you remember, that was literally the day that we broke here on Lev Remembers. We broke the story that J.D. Vance was having a dinner at his house, and at his house there were going to be certain people there talking about how to frame the Maxwell story, because that's what Donald Trump's kryptonite is, and that was what was going on at the time. They also had another problem, which I uncovered, and the media hasn't picked up on yet, is Dan Bongino, because part of those conversations had to do with Riley and getting Dan Bongino on board, so this way they could go with their made-up rewrite history of the Maxwell files. But at the I think there we go. Alex, how are you, my brother?
How are you, Lev?
Good, good. Are you good, man?
Yeah,
All right,
good.
great, great. Huh?
Good. I'm saying a little bit under the weather, but the news gotta go on.
Listen, grab some coffee, tea, sit back. I'm gonna get our viewers, give them a little bit of a behind the scenes background, get them all up to speed, and then me and you could break down some of the stuff that they're talking about. So yeah, back to where we were. There was no conversation for 1 week at all about anything to do with Maxwell Zelensky. I mean, Maxwell Epstein. Nobody's talking about, that her testimony, the subpoenas that are about to come out. Nobody's talking about Bangino. All the media was talking about for the past 7 to 8 days was hyperbaric, trying to pretend and trying to go out there, make up stories, make pretense of what is going to be discussed at this meeting when we knew this was not about what was going to be discussed. The other thing that's not being discussed by the media all of a sudden, because of this meeting, is the normalization that Donald Trump has now is getting this country used to. And I've been warning you about this as part of the Project 2025 playbook that's being run by Stephen Miller and Russell Vaught. And now I'm hearing Susie Wiles as part of the team. And basically, it's to get you to be desensitized and normalize that you're not no more. It's not a big deal to have a U.S. military in the streets, patrolling against U.S. citizens, because they first did in California. We were talking about, and I told you, I warned you, I said to you, it's going to come to another state. Everybody thought it was going to happen during his parade. It didn't happen. Everybody forgot about it. And all of a sudden, here we are. Now we have troops inside of Washington, D.C. We have these troops now. There's even a fight going back and forth of who's controlling the troops. Is it Pam Bondi and the DOJ? Is it the, what's it called? Police chief of Washington, D.C. So this is part of, again, this is getting ready for 2026. This is another thing that we're not talking about. When was the last time you saw in the media in the past several days anything about, people being pulled off the street, checkpoints that are going out, how many immigrants were arrested in Washington, D.C., and so on and so on. So those two things, the main two things that we're talking about, which were the rewriting of history, the Epstein files, and at the same time, the normalization of troops, U.S. troops on American soil, patrolling American citizens, has been all deflected by this sham of a meeting. Because if this meeting, if this was really about peace, if this really was about stopping this war, if this really was about saving lives, folks, you would not hear a peep out of me, and I would be all for it, and I would say it would be just as important as any one of those subjects. But it wasn't. It was all about theatrics. It was about taking away your eye off the ball. It was taking away and pretending. So that's the first thing I want to make sure that we understand before we get started. The other thing I want to get is the elephant in the room, because those of you that read my Substack earlier today, there's very few, but very few people commented on something that I mentioned in there, and that's about Putin body double. So I wanna get right away explain something to you, and so we understand. So this way, you understand. I do not go down rabbit holes. I do not believe in conspiracy theories. I do believe in very, educated, and when there's enough, how they say, circumstantial evidence, I could make common sense of certain things. I could use my life experience. I could sources I know, trust. I mean, I could use all of that to be able to make a fair judgment. For those of you that, with all the respect, that make comments and laugh at body doubles, it's not it's understandable, because to you it probably, living wherever you live, you can't even imagine that the things that go on behind the scenes, the agencies like the KGB, our own CIA, the Israeli Mossad, the Chinese, and all of these secret agencies for every country, what they do, from body doubles to some very horrific things of kidnapping, killing, sabotaging. I mean, they all do it. We all do it. I've been in those rooms, and I could tell you, if you don't believe me, I'm sorry for that. But I'm going to give you some quotes and some just to give you a little bit of proof that it's not me saying it, and then we'll get back to why I think it's a body double, and that's something actually Alex brought up yesterday when we were talking about. But so in 2020, Putin was quoted himself as saying, "I have been offered body doubles, but I declined them." This was during the most difficult time, a fight against terrorism. So Putin himself is telling you that he was offered body doubles. If there's no body doubles, there was a slip that by accident, that it doesn't happen with Putin, by him actually admitting that there were body doubles. Then you have intelligence, Ukrainian intelligence, notably Major General Kirill Budanov, who is the head of the Ukrainian military intelligence, has claimed that we, quote, we know specifically about three people that keep appearing. They all had plastic surgery to look alike. The one thing that gives them away is their height, their earlobes, since they are unique for every person. Another Ukrainian source, Yusovov, told Newsweek, Putin uses doubles. This is fact based both on operative intelligence and the assessment of physiognomists and many other specialists. I've also had on my show yesterday Malcolm Nance, which all of you know and respect, and he has also told you that Putin uses body doubles all over the place. So, with that said, and not just the Putin regime, but others like in most authoritarian regimes, that is a certain protocol that's being used. But with Putin, it's a lot different because there's certain things that you need to take into account that happened over the years that have drove this to even more than usual. First of all, is his own health problems. It's been reported over the years that he was very sick, and there are certain people, and very and I'll say not just pretty good sources that really believe that he's not even alive anymore or very sick somewhere where he's just being able to talk and maneuvering the body doubles. Other people say that after COVID, if you remember during COVID, he used to lock himself up in a bunker and went a little bit when it came to being around people. And that's when they perfected these body doubles to be able to go out there to meet people, to continue running a country because he was so scared to get infected with COVID disease back then. So these are all factual things. So when I say that it's possible that that was a body double, I'm not trying to say it to try to throw some kind of conspiracy, because that is factual. That it could very well possibly have been a body double, because for Putin to travel to the United States, there was really no reason, because this was a theatrical set. Everything that was worked out between Dmitry Kirillov, as we've been telling you, that you've been now seeing these names on the sheet, and Witkoff behind the scenes before they ever met even. So there were, this was more of a photo op and a show. And the one thing that I could tell you from somebody like me, that I've been in the Soviet Union and in Russia and been around Putin's circles, and I've been watching him since I was 18 years old. I am currently 53, excuse me. I wish I was 40, 43 years old. That's 35 years, folks. 35 years, and I could tell you I'm a pretty good specialist when it comes to Vladimir Putin. And I could tell you just from watching him and observing him yesterday. And Alex, I want you to make a note, because I want to hear your take on this also, very importantly. But watching the way he spoke, the way he laughed, the way he interacted with the media, the way even he acted with Donald Trump. That If that's Vladimir Putin, I mean, they gave. It's like, remember when you guys used to joke that they gave Biden some sort of shot? That means they have to have given him, because I've never seen Vladimir Putin in 35 years act the way what we saw yesterday on the world stage. From even the way him reading the cards during his speech, to the way fondling, to getting into the beast, which we're going to talk about in a second. Also, just
That,
getting into Trump's card. Go ahead, Alex.
that's something. I'm gonna bring us down the memory a little bit for a second. Remember, you and I were watching the opening of 2008 Chinese Olympics, and when he made a press conference right before they invaded Georgia, and you and I said, and even said, "Look at this guy's eyes.
Yeah.
You cannot even tell if he's breathing. That's how he is." That was not the guy we saw yesterday.
No, I mean, I would would like for all of you out there, whoever even doubts it for a second, take a little moment, go down there. It's easy. Start Googling. Take a look at every single time Putin has met. Yes, the people are going to say, "What? Oh, Putin doesn't laugh." No. I'm not talking about if you're going to watch video of Putin at like some hockey game, or if you're going to watch Putin at, at some charity where it's all set up for it to be. I'm talking about to you. I want you to show me a video of Putin interacting with dignitaries the way he interacted yesterday, especially on a summit where he's been in exile for so many years. He's a indicted war criminal. This was a serious meeting. This wasn't. Yesterday, if you wouldn't have known that there's a war going on in Ukraine, and if you wouldn't have known that that's what supposedly they were meeting about, you would have thought that they were meeting up because they signed some sort of great deal and there was going to be celebrity because he was greeted with like military honors. Just think about, folks. We had a war criminal that has kidnapped over 20,000 kids. That has blood on his hands of killing so many people, ordering so many deaths, rolling out the red carpet. Donald Trump rolled out the red carpet to him. He met him on the red carpet, and let's now get into it. Okay, met him on the tarmac. They shook hands. They almost hugged. They joined. And what you want to see, they walked and they went straight to the beast. They went straight into Trump's limo. And that's a sign because there was no hesitation. You didn't see Putin's limo pull up. That was already prearranged. Now, why? The media didn't even mention it. They were like, oh, he's going in there. But right before that, because remember, the plan was supposed to be that they're supposed to meet. And this is where we're going to start breaking it all down to you. They were supposed to meet, and then they were supposed to go from there. They were supposed to go and have a one-on-one meeting, and then after that one-on-one meeting, there was supposed to be the delegations were going to have a working breakfast lunch, and then they were going to come out and have a press conference and do questions and answers. And then remember Trump's two promises. Remember those from the beginning, that as soon as this is done, first of all, he said he's going to know in the first 2 minutes, 5 minutes, he's going to know right away. As soon as he walks in there, that if this takes longer than a few minutes, that means it's a good meeting, which he said it's a good meeting. He also then said if it's going to be a good meeting, that the first thing he's going to do when he walks out, he's going to call the European Union and Zelensky, and maybe even have Zelensky fly to there for them to all to meet. Remember all of that? And then when the press asked him, they said, what happens if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war? He said there's going to be severe consequences. Even on the plane ride there, he doubled down and said there's going to be severe consequences. And I was really upset watching, and I'm not going to mention their names, but watching some of these pundits out there that, they probably mean well. And they're out there saying, watching Donald Trump's conversation in the plane with the media looks like he's going there. He means business. Stop. I tell them all out there, stop giving him that. That's exactly what he wants. That, you're building up because a lot of people out there are not following step by step like we are. A lot of people are getting those headlines, and then what, they see it and they think, yeah, that Donald Trump is really trying to do something good. That these conversations, how many people, by the way the media was reported at, how many millions and millions of people probably to right now today have no clue what this was all about. That they think that this was really about peace, that this was really about Ukraine, that this was really about some sort of thing that and that there's a good things happening out of it because in the meantime there's like Russian American relation. I mean, this is because of the way the media is spinning it. It's out of control. But meanwhile, Donald Trump, like I said, what they weren't reporting on is there was a quick change up. That all of a sudden, instead of the one-on-one, now they're going to have a three-on-three. Why? Because there's nothing to talk about. And this is another reason why I think it's a dummy Putin in there, because what would they sit there and talk about all this time? Because remember, I've told you that already. All the business and all the relationship was prearranged and will be discussed between the back channels like Witkoff, Dmitriev, Kushner, and all of that. This were photo ops. So for Trump, he and Putin, they need to realize they need to legitimize it. So how do you legitimize it? You take away the one-on-one and you bring in Marco Rubio. Because now you got other people in the room that could leak the conversations, that they could tell you that we were literally speaking about, for that, because they said it was 3 hours. But if you take there's two translators involved. So, and I was an official translator, so I could tell you how it works. If you take that and break it down, that whole conversation probably lasted about an hour and maybe between an hour to an hour and a half, between pleasantries, between introductions, between what's it called, the translations. It was all about hour and a half. Now think about what kind of war, what kind of solutions, what kind of peace can you negotiate in an hour and a half? It was basically a conversation of demands that Putin put in place, explain to Trump what he needs to tell Zelensky. Trump was not a happy camper with some of those things, but he had to eat them because Trump already has boxed himself in the corner, because he doesn't want to all of a sudden go to some sort of war with Russia or go to bat, because he does understand, because now he needs Russia as an ally no matter what. So sometimes you have to bow down, which is now what Trump is doing. That's why you saw that whole thing play out, that afterwards that they came, that press conference where, Putin came out, had his whole conversation, gave his little speech, which, again, I want to make it clear, it's irrelevant if it was a real Putin, if it was a body double, a triple double, because what me and Alex keep telling you all the time, that it's part of the KGB, it's their ideology, it's a machine. So whoever that person would be there, whoever if it would be the one, it would be the person that would be part of that ideology machine, pushing that same message. And for those people that say, "Oh, well, how would Trump know the difference?" Trump doesn't know Vladimir Putin, guys. He met him maybe two times in his life, and the last time he met him was 7, 8 years ago. So for those of you that think Donald Trump knows who Vladimir Putin is, or how he talked 8 years later, it's a mirage. So, and then the fact that they didn't have any questions, the fact that it was like, here we are. And then I'd like to go into some interesting things, because I want to go into, then Donald Trump, Alex, had an interview, and his interview was Sean Hannity. And I want to play some recordings for you guys from that interview, because that interview really reveals a lot of things that was really discussed and really was talked about behind the scenes and with Putin in the car and stuff. Because if you took a look at the most important thing that Vladimir Putin did for Donald Trump, and was part of what was all done, because remember, Donald Trump wants the Nobel Peace Prize. Donald Trump tries to keep validating that this war would never happen. Just think about what he had Vladimir Putin, or the fake Vladimir, whatever you want to call him, sit up and stand there and basically say that he warned the Biden administration in 2022 before they were going to go in, and it was the Biden administration's fault that the war started, and that he agrees 100% that if Donald Trump was president, there would be no war, and millions of lives would be saved. This is what he said, to validate. So I'm just giving you the narrative of what's it called. So let's go to hold on a second, guys. Alrighty, here we go. So first of all, let me tell you this much. I'm sorry. This is important. So let me tell you how they're responding in Moscow while this is happening. So in Moscow, there's celebrations. The media is talking about like this is a huge win. That this is now something that is going to be, Russia-American relationship. And remember the ex president of the Russia, Medvedev, that the one supposedly Trump sent nuclear ships because he made a comment about Trump. Well, he came out with an official statement yesterday. I mean today, outlining Russia's reaction and Russia's version of what how they see this trip went. So Medvedev says the results of the negotiation in Alaska were incredibly good. And here are the 5 points that he mentions. Point number one, and I'm translating this from Russian, so if I translate a little off, I'll redo it. A full-fledged mechanism for meetings between Russia and the United States at the highest level has been restored, calmly, without ultimatums and threats. Let's stop and think about that for a second. That's exactly what we've been talking about, what we've been telling you. What was it? The very first thing he said is what was achieved yesterday, and what the media is not talking about is that they have restored communications on the highest level. So that what that means is now they are going to have people. Now the United States doesn't need just shadow diplomacy and backdoor like the Witkoffs of the world, like me. Now we are going to put into effect official players like Rubio, Pete Hegseth, where they're going to start now having full blown relationships between Russia and the United States. Because, and he says calmly, without ultimatums and threats. What that means is, because if you understand this, Donald Trump, and you're going to hear it in his own voice, he has taken everything off the table. There's no sanctions. There's nothing. All these threats, on again, off again. We're going to get to that. So that was number one. Number two, the president of Russia personally and in detail outlined to the president of the United States our conditions for ending the conflict in Ukraine. So he's telling you right there for that hour and change meeting that they had, what Putin did was outline exactly what is their stance. And if you will hear in Trump's voice, I'm going to let you play in here a bit, is how he says that him and Putin have agreed on most of all of those things, which include land swap, which includes taking over land that's currently there, which includes taking over some other parts of Ukraine that are not even invaded by Russia. What's it called? So these are the things that he's telling you that the Russian and I know Alex, this is disgusting for you to even listen, bro, and I apologize. But. I mean, I can't wait. I'm going to let you go over all of this, but we have a lot to unwind over here. Number three, guys. Following a nearly 3-hour conversation, like I said, that 3 hour was really like an hour and 20 minutes. The head of the White House refused to escalate pressure on Russia. So basically, he's telling you that the head of the White House, who's Donald Trump, I'm translating it because in Russian it's like the head of the White House, after this meeting has refused and will not put any more sanctions and any more threats onto Russia. Make that note for yourself, mental, whatever, because we're going to get back to that. I'm going to let you listen to some things. Number four, and he writes down number four is important. Number four is important. The meeting proved that negotiations are possible without preconditions and simulated simultaneously without the continuation of the SVO. So he's basically telling you, saying to you, stop threatening us, stop talking about, see, we could have conversations and this is how we could get things done. Number five, most importantly, so I guess this is the most important thing for him is both sides directly placed. I'm going to read this carefully. I'm going to reread it again because this is a real doozy. Most importantly, both sides directly placed responsibility for achieving future results in negotiations on ending hostilities on Kiev and Europe. Let me again read this again because so Russia now is saying that most importantly, what came out of this summit was that America and Russia have now directly placed responsibility for ending this conflict on Kiev and Europe. Not the fact that Russia could just stop shooting and stop and just walk away and then no. And now it's up to him. And the other thing is now Zelensky has been summoned to the White House on Monday. So Monday Zelensky's coming to the White House, and that's another thing I want to just quietly mention, because we're talking about all these things. I think all of these things are important, because if you take all these little dots, you start, the picture starts formulating. Sometimes you see a dot here, a dot here, but if you start filling in all the dots, all of a sudden the picture starts formulating. And how he met Putin. We spoke about that, right? We spoke about how Putin gave the red carpet. Let's talk about how he meets Vladimir Zelensky. They scream at him. They berate him. They make him bow down and tell him to apologize. They surround him and make him grovel and say thank you for what's it called. They blame him for being attacked by Russia. They blame him for being a crook. They call him a dictator. Just think about it. This is all. This is. I'm not making any of this up. This is all these things that they call Zelensky, and then compare that to the meeting, how he met with Donald Trump. I mean, with Vladimir Putin. Folks, Vladimir Putin is a war criminal. Vladimir Putin has ordered the deaths of tens of thousands of people. He has blood on his hands of people that or look at Navalny and others, political people that he had killed all over the world, in Germany, in Europe. And he greeted him with hugs. He grabbed his hand, and they were like, like tight. How many do you think dignitaries have got into the presidential limo like that, into the beast, and just took off? Just think about how that whole thing played out, how disgusting it was, and how and where we got to. But let me let you listen to some of the things Donald Trump said, some of his interviews. Hold on a second. Let's get which one is this? Hold on. Let's see. By the way, guys, I encourage you very much to go. Definitely, if you have not read my earlier Substack letter that I wrote, it's called "Exclusive: The Alaska Meeting Exposed." Please make sure you go read it. I put a lot of the clips in there, but one of the clips I put in there, and I'm going to put out later out somehow, is right after during the. Actual summit, I went live on Ukrainian television because I think it was important for the Ukrainian people themselves to understand what was happening behind the scenes. And I went live on Ukrainian TV, and my interview on Ukrainian TV is also with subtitles. I put in there, so I want you to see exactly see that also. So please definitely take a look. So hold on a second. Okay, so let's see here. We got. What is going on? Oh, sorry about that. Oh, Vladimir Putin says something. Okay. One of the most interesting things. Okay. All right. This is one of the big ones. We're gonna start off right off the bat. Okay. So what I tell you guys with Donald Trump, a lot of this, most of it, has to do for him. He wants to stay in power. He wants to be able to control, and a lot of it, when I say he's a student of Vladimir Putin, he's a student of their ideology, of authoritarianism, of the Kim Jong-uns, of the dictatorships. It's not personally Vladimir Putin. Yes, maybe the history of Vladimir Putin, how he's been able to stay in power for 25 years, but it's the whole ideology that comes along with it. And this is what he's trying to now implement here in the United States. And I keep warning you and warning you. And I'm not, and I'm dead serious. And that's why I'm going to let you listen to something. And after that, I want to make sure each and every one of you hit those hearts, spread this message, make sure to subscribe, do whatever you can to be able to help build our movement, our resistance here, because this next step, like I told you, election reform, it's more serious than you guys could even imagine. But listen to this. Let's listen to this, and then we'll get into it. This is Donald Trump right after the meeting giving an interview with Sean Hannity. And he goes. Oh, Vladimir Putin said something. One of the most interesting things, he said, your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting.
He said mail-in voting, every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead. And he said, and you lost it because of mail-in voting. It was a rigged election, but mail-in voting, Sean.
Did you hear that? You want me to play that again for you guys? Did you hear that? Mail-in voting. Vladimir Putin told him that he won the 2020 election. Vladimir Putin, a very smart guy that he just finished talking to, told him that he won, and it was the only reason it was rigged because of mail-in voting. What have I been telling you is going to happen very shortly is he's going to cut out mail-in voting. He's going to cut out a lot of different rewrite the way our election laws are written and taken. But I want you to, because this is so serious, I really want you to listen to it again. It's only 30 seconds, but that's how important this is. Hold on a second. Hold on.
He said your election was rigged.
Hold on a second. Because that, I think, hearing him in his own words say that, I think is extremely important.
Oh, Vladimir Putin said something. One of the most interesting things, he said your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting, every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead. And he said, and you lost it because of mail-in voting. It was a rigged election, but mail-in voting, Sean.
Did you hear that? First of all, he's talking to you about mail-in voting, but then he's also talking to you about how he would have won, that he was rigged, that he would have won. That Putin is telling him this. Just think about it, folks. Think about this shit. Let's go on. Let's go on to the next one.
This joint news conference.
This is okay. This I want you to listen to this. I did a cooperation of me. I put together, how Fox was reporting this, and I want you to hear how even Fox, which is Trump's megaphone, and how they were reporting this whole fiasco that we watched yesterday. It's a minute and a half, but I want you to listen to it. Here we go.
It was not a news conference. There were no questions taken by either leader. Brett, is it safe to say, since he didn't come out and say this is a ceasefire, a cessation of violence, that that is something we didn't get all the way there?
I think they would have led with it. It would have been the thing that they would have led with, that we agree to a ceasefire. We didn't hear it. And I think that could be disappointing.
Jackie, I was surprised no questions. I was surprised no details on what progress was made.
I think you and me both, Brian, and everyone else in this room was also surprised. There were a few things that were very unusual. You had Putin come out and address the press first. I mean, we are on U.S. soil here. Usually it is the leader of the country, the host country of a summit, that speaks first and addresses the room in their language. But Putin started right off in Russian, and we all had to get our headsets on and listen to him rattle off this diatribe. There was something that he said that was a little bit alarming, I thought, that seemed like some of the things that he has done in the past, setting up false flags and that kind of thing, saying that we hope that Ukraine doesn't do anything to sabotage the progress that we made today, knowing full well that Ukraine has agreed to a ceasefire unconditionally for the last several months, and it has been Russia that has not agreed to a ceasefire. There were some things that Putin said that are always cause for concern. When he references things like root causes,
I know.
It's always a reference back to his ultimate goal of taking all of Ukraine. It did not seem like things went well, and it seemed like Putin came in and steamrolled, got right into what he wanted to say, and got his photo next to the president and then left. Certainly President Trump, who is the host and who is the president, would not want to, I think, enable something that would make him look weak. But we are eagerly awaiting to hear the background on that.
That was Fox News. Fox News reporter said that he came in, Vladimir Putin came in and basically steamrolled the president. The president looked weak. There was nothing basically talked about because, like again, like I keep telling you, this was never about Ukraine. This was always, always, always about the theatrics and that they keep doing. But in the meantime, folks, I want to tell you what Putin's response was right after he got in this plane. The second he got in this plane, okay, hold on a second. Here we go. I want to read something to you. The second he got into his plane, and I wrote about it today earlier in my Substack. If you still thought that Putin was sincere about peace, the moment he got into his plane and left American soil, as his jet took off, Russia launched 85 Shahed drones and an Iskander M ballistic missile into Ukraine, pounding the frontline region of the Sunni Donetsk, Chernihiv, and Dnipropetrovsk areas. Ukrainian defenders fought back with everything they had, drowning or suppressing about 61 drones. But 24 more of them found their targets, striking 12 locations across the country. That was Vladimir Putin's real closing statements to yesterday's talks. Not the hollow words of peace whispered in Alaska, but the roar of drones and missiles raining down on Ukraine, folks. That was his way of reminding the world, and especially Donald Trump, that most of all the diplomacy, and this was all theater. But war is really what he is all about. With that said, I want to ask you something from the bottom of my heart, especially since we have Alex here. I didn't know if Alex was going to show up, but me and Alex knew this was going to happen, and we've been planning, and Alex has been working on doing whatever we can to try to be prepared to help out, because there's major invasions being prepared by Russia that we've been talking about that's coming up, and you people of Ukraine need everybody's help now more than ever, because part of this, what's going to take place now is it's going to be the long game, where eventually Trump is going to walk away. He's going to leave Russia to do whatever they want. Ukraine is going to be fighting for their freedom with the help of the European Union and the help of individuals just like yourselves, to be able to help them in any way they possibly can, to be able to defeat this dictator. While this is happening, Donald Trump, slowly but surely, and probably in his world, it's going to happen fast. You're going to start seeing announcements after announcements, from sanctions that are going to start getting lifted to mineral and oil deals that I'm so disgusted to even tell you that probably would be even announced, that in war-torn areas where are currently occupied by Russia on Ukrainian land, that they have discussed to that degree. So with that said, I want to ask you something very special, Vadir, that we've put together a GoFundMe from Voice from Ukraine for Alexander. He is going to be going in the next few weeks, once we collect the money, to deliver hygiene aid and any kind of aid possible to be able to help out with what's going on, and especially in the Dnipropetrovsk area. Your help in the past with his missions to Kharkiv and Odessa have been incredible, and the people there can't thank you enough. I'm going to post this right now. For those of you, if you could see it, I posted it in the message box. If you guys could start reposting it, respreading it, anything, any amount, $5, $10, $2, any amount helps, because we need to be able to continue helping, because America, the United States, Donald Trump is going to be pulling back from there. So with that said, Alex, how are you, my brother? I know it's not an easy day for you to see all of this going on and watching this display stuff that me and you have been talking about, warning the people, warning everybody that this is what is going to take place. And I'm going to start off by saying that neither me nor Alex ever want to say I told you so or we were right. I wish we come out. I pray the day I come out and I say, oh my God, guys, we were wrong. We were wrong. That will be the happiest day of my life, because we're not here to try to, we're not happy with the things that we have to tell you, report. We're telling you these things because it's the only way, knowing the truth, we could save our democracy, and the only way they could save their sovereignty and their freedom. So that is why we are talking about it and telling you these things. Alex, so tell me, man,
Look,
what are you feeling?
thank you everybody for your support. Thank you for being here. I lost the sound for a second. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, good. Well, actually, you stole my line, so to speak, because the first thing I was going to say, as much as as much as I love you, as much as I don't like you, because every time you say something and I want to disagree, and I want to say that it's not physically possible, it's not humanly possible, and it turns out to be the way it is. So it's true that I myself find something and I say I hope I'm wrong. Please be wrong. Please be wrong. And this whole meeting, you're right in the money. This was double jeopardy. To take the eye of whatever fiasco going on in U.S. of the president, but for that you get me on American soil. You get me on American soil, and you let the world know that you accepted me. So that's it. There was nothing else to discuss, and it was a setup all the way. And as you said before, right after that, they're gonna call Zelensky. They're gonna tell him that you gotta do this, this, and this, and then if you don't do it, they're gonna start slowly walking away. The only thing that uh, keeps me calm out of all this is that I went through all my sources, and and as of today, after yesterday's meeting, it's quiet. So when it's quiet, it means something's been done. So I think plus I think there is a meeting tomorrow with European group at the same time as Zelensky going to Washington. So I don't think there is even a response, and they're just moving forward. So this is the only thing, because otherwise, without Europe, I don't see how I can go on, because this is literally, it looks like all the plan that you wrote down. That slowly, and then he's gonna say, you know what? I tried. I did all I could. I tried. But one more thing I want to add about the showman. Yesterday, it was like Apprentice. Yesterday, everything was done as a show. The carpet, the soldiers pushing the carpet for the Russian president right in front of him almost. Everything was done as a show. And then after it, they all came on, said few words, and if you look, I'm sure you saw the pictures in the Oval Office. President Trump goes like this to Zelensky, and in yesterday's meeting, Putin goes like this to Trump.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's reversed. Second thing, uh, another why Russia needed this meeting, because right now everybody knows in Russia that there is a problem financial. There is a problem there are problems everywhere. The prices go up, the gas goes up. There are problems with everything. In order for them to maintain, they need to give people hope. So yesterday, right before the meeting, they released the video that the future is with America, and then on top of all, they show Putin land in Alaska. So that's to help them mobilize. That's to give Russian people hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And one more thing I want to add is about these conditions, the land swaps. How can you swap a land that's yours?
I don't know, Alex.
My backyard. Borrow, took from me a little piece. And they say, you know what? I want that piece. Why don't we swap? How can you swap with somebody's? How can somebody swap their own land?
Alex, I mean, not even land. So it's so absurd. What I'm hearing is that they're negotiating and they're going to continue negotiating even in a little bit. Remember it here, you heard it here first, that Trump is negotiating through Witkoff with Kirill Dmitriev and Putin about that they're going to start mining minerals and oil and gas on Ukrainian soil that is being occupied right now during the war, and where Trump is going to put pressure later on Ukraine to stop, to make sure, because America is going to be in a partnership with Russia and not in it's sick. I can't even explain to you the shit that I'm hearing.
It's mind-boggling. It's not just sick. It's mind-boggling, and I think you're right. I think what he's gonna do is first he's gonna say, I tried, I made a deal for you. It didn't happen. So you guys decide, and then he's gonna lead into what you just said. But I have faith in my president. I have faith in Ukraine. I have faith in Europe. I have faith in people, in democracy, and I believe that the good will prevail. And I believe that they will not succeed with this barbaric move they're trying to make. Because to this, two lives mean nothing.
Well, no, look, I'm with you 100%, Alex, and I believe in hope also. And we have a lot of hope because you know what? At the end of the day, as I was reporting yesterday, and me and you spoke about it, both your sources and mine confirm that both Europe and Ukraine, Zelensky, were not surprised at what was going on. They're prepared to go on. They're prepared to fight. They have missions going on. And kind of in a way, if Trump would just walk away already and not bother anybody and not get involved, I think it might even already be better for Ukraine to go. So that's first of all. And Ukraine is going to kick Russia's ass. Second of all, here in the United States, we also are starting to see cracks opening. Even though the media was deflected for the past week off of the Epstein and the Maxwell files, there's things that are being in the place. Just on September 3rd, we're having the victims. From the Epstein victims. They're going to be getting together in Washington, D.C. I'm probably going to go there also at that time. And they're going to be making statements, going to talk to be able to make sure their voices are heard. And congressmen that are coming back September from session to start session again, it's all going to get back. So Trump, no matter how hard he tries, he's not going to get away from this Epstein thing. The most I'm concerned is that he's going to try to rewrite it. And that's why I want to keep the eye on the ball on Dan Bongino. And if the media could put pressure on that, and if we could start talking about Dan Bongino a little more and get that riled up and make that mistake happen, I think that's one of the things inside of Trump world right now, which is a major crack in the armor. And then I'm also watching what Devin Newsom was doing. I'm extremely excited watching that the Democrats are starting to get up and step up to it and not just wait to see exactly what's going to happen. They're starting to now, with Gavin Newsom going out there and starting redistricting and getting out, making sure that I could now feel better that we're not just going to sit back and let Trump take away 2026, that we do, have some things going on. And there's other things I can't talk about right now, that we have so much in the work that I'm going to be, talking about shortly. So that's why, for those of you folks, we have a little over 1,500 people here right now. We need to grow this community louder and stronger. For those of you that are already subscribers, thank you so much. For those of you that are paid subscribers or have contributed to Venmo or have contributed to our GoFundMe's, God bless you. Thank you, because you allow us to keep fighting and allow us to keep bringing this information for the people that can't afford it. Because the most important thing is to spread the information. We're in a fight for our lives, in a fight for our freedom, in a fight for our democracy, in a fight for the future for our kids. So we need to do whatever we could possibly do. I see a lot of you are asking questions there about, can we do Venmo? Can we do this? Guys, look, we have a GoFundMe. If you can't do the GoFundMe, we have a Venmo, which is a Venmo at Lev-Parnas. That's Venmo at Lev-Parnas. If you have other ways, some of you have already contacted me that don't want to use and want to use different platforms, please DM me and whatever you could do. We appreciate your help, and we appreciate anyway your donations through PayPal, Zelle. But that's the most important thing, is to be able to get this money over to Ukraine, to be able to get the goods over to the people that need them most. So just for those of you that have those questions, just DM me, and I will definitely let you know how we can or can't do. But otherwise, for those of you that can, please contribute and share the GoFundMe far and wide. Let's get this done quickly and get Alex out there as quick as possible to deliver, because right now it is so hot. A lot of people don't realize, and everybody has great ideas, and everything is needed, from food, water, drones, military, tourniquets. We could go on. There's lots of things that are needed, but usually the most important things are overlooked, that are so simple. And hygiene is a very simple thing that is usually overlooked because we take it for granted, because we think water is everywhere. But right now they have people that are in the woods, people, army and soldiers that are not taking shower for months. And when the temperature is 38 degrees, that's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, folks, and you're not showering and you're sitting there in full armed gear and all of that, this is where you start, not only where you sicknesses and all kinds of things come about, but mental health, everything. It becomes a major issue we're in the fight against the war. But we're not even talking about the soldiers, folks. We're talking about all of these families, people that are elderly, the kids that are right now displaced without water, without taking showers, communities, whole cities, whole towns that are not able to take a shower or get themselves clean, hospitals that have people that are wounded in bed laying there that can't wash themselves because there's no water or electricity. So I know sometimes you might think that's simple thing, but believe me, trust me, because me and Alex have been doing this, delivering aid. Alex has been doing it on the ground, and I've been here from the United States since 2022, from the first day the war started. And Alex has been in every hot area and has delivered everything from food to military aid to what you name it, he's done it. And that's why if he's coming to us right now and telling us this is what needs to be done, that's why, trust me when I'm telling you, this is the most important for them. And you could see the videos that the soldiers are sending. I'm posting them. We're putting them up there. We're sending you could see how happy and how incredible the people are happy for the supply. So that's why I just want to say thank each and every one of you. Some of you already are making your contributions to the GoFundMe, to the Venmo. We see you, we hear you. God bless each and every single one of you. I could tell you that, because from not just from us, but from the people that really need it most, because we're just a conduit, just like you are an extension of our voice to spread the message. We are an extension of your generosity and your goodwill to spread the goodwill to the people out there. So it's one hand washes the other, and we help each other. And that's why I want to say thank you so much for everything in each one of you do for us, and for the people of Ukraine to support us. But the number one thing is we cannot let up. Not even for a second. Because even if we get a little good news, as we need to put the pressure more and more, we need to put the pedal to the metal. And now more than ever, we need to make sure that each and every one of you that can't just donate or contribute or become a paid subscriber, we need you to do your job. Go spread the message. Go bring 3-4 people to this platform. Make sure you flood the phones to your congressmen and senators. Make sure you write the emails. We spread our message. And you know what our message is. We speak truth to power when it comes to Ukraine, to make sure, because the media is lost, they're not going to pay attention to us. It's up to us. But we have a very strong community that we're building here, between independent journalists like the Midas Touch, like between my son Aaron, other independent journalists, other truth tellers like Michael Cohen and Malcolm Nance, other people that are coming to this a team that we're building, the things that are going to happen, because for the next year, we're just getting started. It's about to be on, because in the next year, our job is not only to go out there and save our democracy, but our job is to go out there and save Ukraine's sovereignty and freedom. So that's a big undertaking that we're going to do, but together we will do it. So I want to say thank you, and God bless each and every one of you for everything you do. And I want to say, Alex, I want to, stay safe, brother. I know we have a lot of things going on this weekend that we're covering. I'll be speaking to you later today. I know you're preparing for the trip, so I'm going to give you the last word. Take us home.
Well, I want to add a little something to it, and then I have a thought. We also found a way, because where they really need the help is on the front lines. And front lines, you're not allowed to get in there. So today we just made a couple of contacts. There is a parcel service that's very close, and the soldiers can come up and pick up the dry towels. So once they pick it up, they'll send us the video of everything else. How happy they are that they were thrilled, because we have been trying to get to them for the past month, and now we found a way. But about all this that's going on, I think about America, Ukraine, what them is calculated. I think the most, because as you know, right now everything is AI. Everything's AI. They put in a bunch of ideas, and they get a result. But AI is a machine. AI is a machine that doesn't feel. So AI could be wrong. And I lived in America for over 30 years. My kids were born in America. And in America, for all your life, everybody, and the whole soil knows that there is only one enemy, and that's Russia. E- Everybody, the all American people, they do everything to protect themselves against the communists or against the KGB or FSB or whatever. And now, when you bring Putin into America and you tell American people that this is the future, are you kidding me? That's why you asked me what I believe in. I believe in you. I believe in other guys like Midas, like Aaron, like everybody else, that eventually will get to people, because America will not go to have Russia as a partner. And once people wake up and understand what was being put over their heads, everything will change. And you are the only ones that can do that. I mean, I can only help my people, Ukrainian people, by helping my people, and by letting the Americans know what's going on in this country, and see what's waiting for them if they accept this theatrical that happened yesterday. Because if they accept it, that would be next.
Oh,
You,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if we
you
let
guys
this,
guys don't want to be where we are. Trust me. So with that, I wanna bless everybody in the world. I wanna thank everybody in the States for following, for supporting. God bless you all. Slava Ukraini.
Geroim Slava. Thank you, Alex, and God bless every single one of you. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for all your support. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go out there and spread the message far and wide today, because there's a lot of things happening, and the only way we will win this is by making sure we spread the truth to power, spread the information far and wide, and that's why you are the best. God bless you guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Love.